Welcome to our Facebook Live today. We're going to talk about body weight exercises. My name is Jeff Steinberger, physical therapist.
And I'm Megan Johnson, physical therapist assistant.
And just to remember that if we need to, we can do virtual appointments or video health appointments with you. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Sorry, Morgan. She's just a major problem. Go to YouTube. Do the search for Prairie Rehabilitation/physical therapy. So we got a little background noise going on today as we have some a little more activity going on. And this weekend we salute to all the veterans out there and thank you for your sacrifice and thank you for all you've done for Memorial Day. So
thank you for your service.
So we're going to talk about body weight exercises today. Megan, what does that mean?
We are going to use the weight of your body as resistance. So doing some higher impact exercises without any weights or resistance bands, just using the resistance of gravity against our own weight.
And we're going to start with working on your legs today.
Correct.
And we're going to use that lovely yellow ball to do some wall squats. As we are doing these, and you can use, we're using a larger ball, but you can use a basketball, you can use something smaller, or you don't really even need to use a ball, but it's kind of nice, it seems to go smoother. So as you're going to do that, she's going to go into a squat, she's going to go a little up and down, and it again has control of how deep that she works on that. And what we want to avoid is what?
We want to avoid our knees coming over our toes, for one. So we don't want to see this in a squat. We want to see more of a sitting down motion.
Imagine a chair being.
Yeah, and if you're doing these squats without a ball behind you against a wall, imagine a chair behind you or put a chair behind you so that you have the cue to get back in that position and not bringing your knees forward.
And we're going to have you turn and face the camera and do one of those too. As you're working with your knees, the other thing that we don't want to have happen is we don't want your knees coming way in or way out as you are working on your squat. Thank you. Next we're going to move on to lunges, which is one of, I know, your favorite leg strengthening exercise. It works them very hard and it's very efficient and effective.
So I'll go at two different angles here. You can mix it up how you want, do 10 repetitions on one side and switch or alternate. Kind of gives you more of an intense workout, I would say, if you alternate. We're just gonna lunge down and come back up. Same on the other side. We're still watching our knee alignment, so we're lined straight up with the feet. And again, I don't want my knee to shift forward over my toe.
And as we talked a few weeks ago about working on balance, we want to make sure that you're keeping your core aligned. So again, we're going to bring our belly button towards your spine as you're doing that, so it works the good core strengthening.
Neutral spine back here, so we don't have
arching way back or forward. Excellent. Next, I see you brought some steps along because I know that happens to be one. Again, we have multiple heights at home. You might just use your regular stairs, or you can build some nice ones like these.
They're beautifully built. I recommend to people that if you're going to be using your own stairs, please use the bottom step, for safety, of course. If you have a hand railing and you need to use it, go ahead and do so. If you don't feel like you need that support, go ahead and do without. So I'm simply just going to do a step up and down and then alternate feet as I go to give that equal workout on each.
And if you want to work a little harder as you step back down, you can touch your heel down first.
So that we're slowly lowering
as they're slowly
half of the step. We can do the same thing in a side step up. So simply stepping up sideways and then again lowering nice and slow from that step. Up.
You get a really good workout as you're lowering yourself down. It's can be hard work going up, but for the muscle, it's harder going down. So we want to do that slow and don't drop. And if you find that you are dropping, if this is too high, then that's where you would use a shorter step to help that so you could stay in control of the movement.
So this is what Jeff is talking about. If it's too high or you can't control the motion, that we're seeing this type of thing. And that's really hard on your knees and your joints in general, on your low back. So again, if you can't control the motion, take it down a notch. We'll go to a smaller step, and this way I can easily control my motion and keep myself safe.
Thank you. So we're going to move to working a little bit more of your body. We're going to go for the upper body next, and we're going to start with a wall push-up. Again, we want to start with a tight core. So again, belly button to your spine. Neutral spine, neutral back, and you can adjust how hard you are working yourself by the height of your arms. If you lower them down, you're going to have more body weight against that.
And I just moved my feet back and my hands down, and that significantly increases my load. As well as moving my hands together, that also makes for a harder workout, bringing that base of support inward.
And if you want to work it even harder, you can use an unstable surface, and I know Megan loves to work just a little harder. She's not afraid to work. And again, we're using a gym ball for this, but you could use a basketball for this, you could use a volleyball for this. And she's using both arms. You could also go to using one arm too. I'm not going to ask you to do that unless you really like to.
I could surely do that on the wall, not on the ball.
Right.
Doing one arm. And again, modifying. If you are unable to do the full range of motion and don't feel like you have the strength for that, just do a partial push-up. You don't have to touch your nose to the wall. Just starting out like that.
Poke on you on the back here, just moving. So again, we want to be careful with this, that where your shoulder blades are not poking out, because we want to make sure that you have a good strength in your shoulder blades. If you're finding that you're getting a real deep divot in here, this is probably too high a level exercise, and then you move your arms farther up so that you can do the appropriate amount of resistance.
Right.
All right, and then how about some wall planks?
So
what are your favorites?
Yeah. We can do this two different ways, a little bit different load. The straight arm is going to be a little more difficult to control. You can also come in to your elbows against there, and that just...
With your elbows in, again, we want to stay straight here, so shoulders, hips could be forward a little bit from where you're at, Megan. Don't keep your feet there, just move your hips, there you go. So we're staying straight all the way down, like a board, like a plank. Good. All right, and then how would you progress those? I know that you really are excited to do this on the floor today.
We're going to go into a floor plank. There's a couple different ways to progress a floor plank. I like to have people starting out with their knees
modified this way so that you have the leverage is coming from in here, shoulders are being protected, we're watching this position here, back is staying straight, belly button to spine, and we don't have the long levers down here.
Now to progress this plank,
to make it a little tougher,
I'm going to go up.
Keep the hips down, down. There we go, belly button to spine. This is hard work, and again we can see the shoulder blades here and all the way straight, and rest for just a second. So usually when we do those, I know Megan usually has her patients do those for like 10 minutes at a time. For my patients, I can be bribed with chocolate or pie. So we start at maybe 15 or 20 seconds and then build up gradually. So now, as a further progression from there.
How we can really progress.
Yes.
And again, we're watching alignment, technique, adding some alternating movements with your legs, doing some lifts.
Very good workout, very strong workout.
Tis.
And if that's too easy, you could do an arm and a leg together.
I'm not going to demonstrate that today.
Yeah, well, she didn't want to embarrass me knowing that she could do that. So then we moved to a little more other standing things. We added a little bit of instability when we're standing. We talked about this a little bit with balance, but when we talked about that, and that's on our YouTube channel, but we're going to talk a little bit more today about some higher level balance things.
Right. We're going to start with just a simple single leg stance. So all I'm going to do is stand on one leg. Again, keeping the core tight. A really important thing to do when doing a single leg stance is make sure that you're really squeezing your glute, your butt muscle on the side that you're standing on.
And we want to, one of the things that sometimes we use a mirror for feedback with this, and I think of your shoulders, the point of your shoulders being headlights, your hip bones being headlights, and your knees being headlights, and we want those headlights to point straight ahead. Again, we don't want to see the twist, and we don't want to see
that type of thing.
Right.
And I have patients put their hands on their hips for feedback too in the mirror to make sure that they have that alignment and they're not doing this type of thing.
Excellent, excellent. And then target stepping. But that has nothing to do with shopping, I don't think.
No.
I don't think it has anything to do with shooting.
No.
It has to do with
Progressing the single leg stance. Although target shopping is more
one of
fun.
your favorites.
Is more fun.
Yes.
So same concept. We're standing on one leg, watching our alignment, and all I'm going to do is step or tap with the other foot. This is making my stance leg work a little bit harder as I'm adding movement to the balance of that leg.
And you can think of it sometimes, for my patients, I like to think of a clock. You go from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock and 3 o'clock, so you're even going across your body a little bit, which again is working your body in a rotational plane instead of this forward and back. And then going both directions because it works the muscles differently as you go around.
Right.
And then of course changing lanes, so back and forth.
And doing it on different surfaces is going to change the intensity or difficulty of an exercise. So standing on a flat, hard floor is going to be a little easier than in plush carpet or standing out in your yard in the grass on uneven ground. Jeff's going to bring out some fun
And there's a variety of things that, some people may have these, but it's nice and soft and squishy.
Yeah, so it changes the intensity of it.
So here.
So going on one foot on that type of surface.
Do target stepping.
The AirX would be better than
I
this.
know, but I couldn't find it.
So that's really intensifying the level of strength and balance that you need.
So be aware of a couple of things, and I neglected to talk about this when I talked about balance is, first of all, make sure you have good shoes that are tied and are supportive of your feet. We don't want you to do this in slippers. We don't want you to do it in Crocs. We want you to be using good shoes. And also be aware that as you're doing it, again, this carpet is thin, or if you do it on a solid floor, it's going to be a little bit easier than if you do it on a thicker carpet or a mat pad or on grass if you decide to go outside and do it. We have just 2 left. The next one is heel to toe raises without support of your upper body.
So I'm just going up on my toes and then back on my heels.
Great strengthening one, and you can do that one or with both legs. And again, in case you haven't caught it before, we talk about keeping your body in alignment. We talk about using your core so that you're strengthening your whole body as you're working on it. And then finally, a little bit of tandem standing.
So, or heel toe standing. Again, with this one, I really stress the alignment of your body. Tight core, squeeze those glutes, loose knees, and an important, tip Even weight distribution. We want your weight through both of your feet equally, not all the way back, not all the way forward. And you can do just a balance with this and changing feet. I have people usually hold it for about 30 seconds, or if you feel safe or have something to hold on to, doing heel toe walking, like you're on a balance beam.
Very good. So some combination of all of these, typically the exercise duration that you would do, one of my rules of thumb is if your quality of your movement is starting to break down, you should probably switch to something else. And I don't know that it makes a huge difference in number of repetitions for what we're looking at, but somewhere, again, I like to do 2 sets, but again, somewhere when you start losing the quality, maybe 10 to 15 reps of some of these, and some of them are pretty hard, so I'd probably do closer to maybe 4 or 5 reps of those.
And always, always for your safety and health, always perform these exercises with quality in mind over quantity. If you're on your second set and you were able to do 10 reps your first set and you're fatigued the second time, stop at 5 if that's where you need to stop. Don't push through to get to that number and end up hurting yourself.
No pain, no gain?
Not true.
Not true.
Not true.
No pain, no gain is not a good thing to follow. We're all right with muscle soreness because you're working muscles. It should not be painful for you. Final thoughts?
Stay healthy. Stay safe. Thanks for watching.
And have some fun while you're doing the exercises and be stronger. Again, if you have any questions, we can certainly answer those. If you leave a message on this, we can answer it. You can email us at Prairie Rehab on our website. You can look for us on our blog. What else am I missing, Morgan? Always our YouTube channel.
Like, share, subscribe.
And you can call our offices. We can certainly answer your questions too. So thank you for your time today. And again, thank you for our military folks that have helped us and continue to help us. God bless.
Thank you.